Hi, and welcome to the Mount Lebanon Minute. I'm Laura Lilley from the Mount Lebanon Public Information Office and Mount Lebanon Magazine, and we're here today with Karen Johnson. She is the Director of Professional Services at Outreach Teen and Family Services. Thanks for joining us today.
My pleasure.
We are talking today about kids and school. Yes. And our first question for you is, what can parents do to help kids get a good start to the school year?
Well, I think it's important to start talking to kids about what to anticipate with school, maybe some highlights. Maybe they're excited about that they get to choose courses this year. So maybe they're excited about taking Spanish, or that they get to take a teacher that they've never had before. I think it's okay and typical for kids to experience some stress as they start new school years or new semesters. And at times, I think parents really need to stop and talk to their kids about maybe what some of those concerns or worries might be. And some might just be, I'm concerned about maybe opening my locker and being able to make it to class on time. So you really need to stop and just help them brainstorm a little bit and problem solve around, okay, so what can you do? What can you do to maybe work this through so that it's not going to be so stressful for you as you start school? I think that as school is starting and as we go through the school year, students are going to need things for school. I think it's important for them to go school shopping, make sure that they have the pencils and the folders and some cool, neat things so that it makes it fun and exciting for them. And it also helps them be more prepared and just excited about the whole prospect of school. It's just a fun place to be. And even, out in the summertime, I think as parents we need to kind of model that education and learning is very important. And it's not something that you just do in school, that you have to do it, give your children the opportunity to experience learning and education outside of the classroom. And also model it. Read magazines and books and newspapers and talk to your kids about what you're learning. And as always, I'm a big communicator, and if you see your child struggling with maybe an issue, always stop and talk to them about it.
Right. And how important is routine?
I believe routine is very important. I believe kids and even adults thrive with routine. Kids need to have a chance to eat healthy foods on a regular basis, get enough rest, have a chance to exercise, and even have time for downtime. Again, as parents, we have to be responsible for helping them get into that routine and be models for them. I think it's good as you start school to think about establishing a good homework routine, so that it shows kids that that's something that you value and that is important, and put that into the nightly schedule. Maybe they come home from school, they have a snack, and then it's homework time, and then you can go on with your evening. And I think you have to think about routines as you go through, elementary kids. They might get really exhausted at school. So maybe you need to build in maybe some quiet time or downtime for them, just to rejuvenate before they start homework or before they go on to maybe evening activities. And middle school kids, they need the routine. They need to be eating well and taking care of themselves. And as they change and develop, you might have to add some more routines to their schedule. And I think a lot of times with our high school students, there's so much pressure to perform, and there's so much pressure to do well academically. And we have to let them kind of figure out that routine a little bit themselves.
Well, that was actually my next question, parental expectations. Right. Can you expect too much? And when do you let them kind of lead?
Well, and I think it comes back to communicating, and it comes back to, parents know their kids. They know when they're struggling, and they need to help them, if they see that they're not doing well with their routine and that maybe they're getting sick all the time and you're worried about that, then you need to step back and say, okay, let's talk about this. Let's see what we can do. And as far as expectations, it's a really fine line that parents have to walk.
It's tough.
It is tough because you want to set expectations high enough that the kids thrive and strive to do their best, but you also don't want to set them too high because then they're going to feel, they're going to lack confidence and then not want to take any risk. So it's really difficult for parents to kind of set those expectations. Again, I come back to it's okay to have conversations with your kids about, this is what I expect of you, and this is why I expect this of you. You do really well in music, so I'd like to see you, explore some different options there. But in turn, you need to hear your child say, I like music and I know I do well, but I really have this interest in art, and I'd like to pursue that. I'd like to find out more there. So again, having those conversations so that the expectations are known and maybe kind of toned down to either for the parent or maybe toned up for the child.
Right.
So I would encourage always conversation about these things.
As a parent, you're also in charge of helping your kid balance their activities, but sometimes it's tough for us to balance. How do you balance school and activities and extracurriculars?
And it's hard because school starts and then all those activities just the soccer starts and then this starts and here's music lessons, here's church CCD, or things just always start coming at you. And as a parent, you really have to look at the bigger picture, because not only do you have to look at your schedule, you have to look at each of your children's schedule and how that works for them, how that works for you as a family. So we have to be careful about overscheduling with our children. We have to allow them time just to be unstructured and unplanned, where they can just kick back and watch TV or read a book or do nothing. I think that's very important. And I think with routine, parents and families assume that it's going to happen, but we need to be very intentional in scheduling family time. I believe in family dinners, and family dinners don't have to be this elaborate, cook for 3 hours and then everybody sits down. No, it's
just you're here, we're here, we're going to talk about the day.
And let's just check in, and then that gives you kind of a gauge as maybe things start to happen with your child. If you see them and have contact and communication with them every day, then you can kind of see, okay, are things starting to fall apart here? Should I be worried? So I really feel that you have to strike the balance between all the stuff that goes on outside, but maintaining family contact and family time, and making a point to do something together as a family that you enjoy. Maybe it's going to the movies, or maybe it's playing games, but those things are very, very important.
Okay.
Yes.
And how involved should parents be?
With school? If you think about it, kids are in school a large amount of their time. And I know as a parent myself, I want to know where my kids are, and I want to be involved with them. So I think parents need to be involved with school. I think that kids do better when when there's communication, interaction between school and parents. And you have to, even if your children are doing well, you have to be talking to the teachers. You need to be communicating with them, because maybe a teacher is seeing a strength that you didn't realize, or maybe it's something that the child's struggling with, and that'll give you some feedback so you can address it.
Great. We are running out of time, so
Okay.
if you could just give us a quick list of a couple of signs that parents should look for when they should seek counseling.
Well, and the big thing is I think you need to look for changes in your children's behavior. If you see that they're isolating themselves more, or spending time with some friends that you're not sure about, or maybe they're not eating, you really need to look for changes in their behaviors. Outreach is a place where kids can come for a variety of reasons. We focus on prevention, early intervention, and education. And we really encourage parents that if you have any concerns at any time, just call and talk to us.
Better to call than...
And we can help you, and we can direct you. If it's not us, or you don't need anything at all, we'll help you get what you need.
Perfect. Well, thanks, Karen.
Thank you.
If you have questions for Teen Outreach and Family Services, you can give them a call at 412-561-5405, or go on the web at www.outreachteen.org. Thank you.